This is Winner's Words for excess body fat freedom and overfat prevention in 3 parts. Welcome, my fellow thoughtful and caring adult, to Part 2. I am Dr. Richard Terry Lovelace. Another reason for the mixed messages conveyed by words associated with weight loss is that it used to be that only the so-called better class of people could afford the foods and quantities of them that made them fat. Those were foods such as oils for cooking, red meat, bread, and honey. If someone was fat, it was a sign that he was from a higher social class. Many years ago, when someone gained weight, it was good. They were safer when famines and epidemics occurred, and could continue to buy the foods required to survive. Still today, we think that gaining something is positive. If our team gains yards in a football game, that's good. If someone gains admission to a better school, that's celebrated. The only way I know of that the word gain is used today that's considered undesirable is in the context of adding body fat. As a carryover from the past, many people still talk about fat babies as being more attractive and healthier. Oh, isn't she cute? Look at those plump, rosy cheeks. Don't you just know she's healthy? So what happens? We get the intense, subtle message early on that being fat is good and safer. So the opposite of being fat, being lean, must be unhealthy, dangerous, and frightening. Now the diseases, most often threatening to our health, and so the futures of the people and what we love, are different. It isn't epidemics and famines that kill and cripple us. Hypertension, lung and heart diseases, cancer, and diabetes do that. They are the illnesses that result from or are contributed to by having too much body fat. What used to be a disadvantage, being lean, is now a major advantage. But some of our everyday language still supports and powerfully encourages lugging around unhealthy pounds. Deeply, we are concerned that excess body fat will be lost. Beneath our awareness, we feel threatened when it is lost sooner or later. Our terrific, but still young, parent-like ego state tells us untruths. It gets us to do what makes us find it again. We lose control. Telling ourselves fat fibs and the perception of threat are nearly always unknown, unconscious. Although they began early and were firmly in place by the age of 4, the fibs and fear may have been redirected for many years. For most of us, it didn't take that long to see and feel the results. Persistent, excess body fat. What do we do as adults when we have something that's ours, but we don't want it? Don't we more likely give it away? What we truly give away, we avoid getting back again, taking back. Giving away something meta-communicates that we will do well without it. Something we give away isn't of value to us. Please tell yourself that rather than losing, you are giving away the pounds. After accepting the reality that winners have trouble losing, I asked myself what winners do well. The powerful and logical answer was, winners get free. I very much encourage you, my fellow adult, to remind yourself that you are a winner, and winners get free and stay free of the excess body fat that's unhealthy. The word gain meta-communicates that having and keeping body fat is good. Nearly everything that's gained is desirable. The winner's words I strongly encourage using are temporarily added, as in, I've temporarily added some excess body fat. By saying that to yourself, you make it clear that the unhealthy pounds aren't going to stay. You have zero intention of putting up with them. They are just transient and unwelcome visitors. For those of us who are more sensitive to the subtle meaning of words and have an even greater potential to win, the word diet fosters a fear that's unknown. Diet is the word die, followed by a T. What we think about the word unconsciously scares us and makes it something to avoid. This helps explain why so many of us get irritable, tense, and obviously anxious when we diet. The word also encourages subconscious thoughts of failure. Fail is what we do when we diet. The word diet meta-communicates to the super quick subconscious thinking portion of our mind that changing how we eat and drink is life-threatening and will end in believing we have failed. Since a primary function of our young parent-like state is to help protect us, naturally, it sooner or later refuses to go along with anything unknowingly we tell it is a threat to our very existence and to our self-esteem. I used to ask clinic participants to raise their hand if they knew of even one person who succeeded on a weight loss diet, when we defined success as voluntarily getting lean enough and keeping the pounds off for at least 5 years. Out of the hundreds of adults I asked, there wasn't a single hand raised. That's meaningful. Instead of diet, please use the words way of eating or way of fueling. When we say to ourselves, way of fueling, we metacommunicate that what we are doing is safe and lasts. What we're doing has long-term benefits. After all, sound reasoning says that food is fuel. Quit is another quitter's quote. For instance, we have said, I've just got to quit eating too much. Please shift to put your more capable ego state to work thinking about this. It's well worth understanding. Quit is a negative word. To do it successfully, you need to be a quitter or a loser. Maybe you've heard the old saying, winners never quit and quitters never win. Because you are a winner, you are unlikely to ever be good at quitting. Besides, typically we think about things that we quit as being desirable. Those are activities such as going to school and working. When someone says, quit eating too much, she or he is subtly suggesting, metacommunicating, that eating too much is good. You might hear what I'm saying and think you know an exception. After all, people talk about quitting smoking, don't they? Without going into detail, let me point out that for a long time, people thought smoking was positive. Evidently, many people still do. Rather than quit, use words such as avoid and keep from, as in, I can and will avoid, keep from, eating too much. The word cheat metacommunicates dishonesty and threatens your self-esteem. Have you ever heard or read something such as, a good weight loss diet will allow for cheating and even encourage cheating every once in a while? But what or who gets cheated? Is it the diet that's cheated? No, the diet isn't capable of caring either way. It is you and someone you love, or will love someday, who gets cheated. This is the end of part 2. I am Richard Terry Lovelace, and I appreciate your caring and growing determination to take in fewer or no more calories than you burn, instinctively, without having to count them.